In this lecture, we're going to focus on validating the email. The process is the same as before. As an exercise, try validating the email field. Be sure to output a message if there's an error below the input field. Refer to the documentation for the list of rules available. Don't feel pressured to use as many rules as you can. Keep it simple and use what you think is right. Pause the video and good luck. Welcome back. If you are able to validate the email field, then congrats. If not, that's fine as well. Let's go over it together. Open the authentication component file. In the template, search for the email field. The first step is to convert the input into the field component. We'll change the input element to the vField component. The field component will output an input element. Next, we'll give the input a name. We'll set the name to email. Afterward, we'll give the input some rules. We're using a validation schema to list our rules. Scroll down to the schema object in the data function. The rules will be the following. Required, minimum set to 3, maximum set to 100, email. We're using the same rules we use for the name field except for the alpha spaces rule. Emails typically don't have spaces. You're not required to set these rules in any particular order. I prefer to set the required rule first because I think it's worth checking before any other rule. I'm introducing a new rule called email. It'll check if the input is a valid email. However, we'll receive an error because we haven't registered it. Let's register it as a rule. Open the validation file. We won't have to create an email rule because vValidate comes with one. We can import the email function from the vValidate rules package. In our install method, we can call the define function. We'll set the name to email with the email function. After registering the rule, we can use it in our component. We've already listed it as a rule for the email field. We can move on to the final step, which is to output the error. Switch back to the authentication component file. Below the field component, we're going to add the error message component. We'll add the text red 600 class to change the text color to red. Lastly, we'll set the name property to email. We're finished. Let's switch over to the browser to test if it works. Check the console for any errors. There shouldn't be any. After confirming there are no errors, try testing the registration email field. An error will appear if you try entering an invalid email. vValidate considers an email valid if it has the @ symbol with the domain extension at the end. If I were to input test@test.com, then that will result in a successful validation. We've successfully validated the email field. Let's move on to the other fields in the next one.